Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are reacting to SOS d'un terrien en détresse. And this one has been requested from you guys since I basically started doing reactions, and I'm finally doing it today, so super excited about this. I assume that it's gonna be pretty cool if that was requested that often from you guys. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Elvann. I am a recording artist as well as a vocal coach, and I create reaction videos, covers, and original music over on my channel, so make sure to subscribe if that's the kind of content you are interested in. Also, if you're interested in checking my other reactions out, I will be leaving them in the cards right there. There's gonna be a playlist of all my reactions, and I have a ton of Nightwish stuff as well as Floriansen. That's probably the kind of stuff I react most often to, so make sure to check that out. Alright, yeah, so without further ado, let's just get started and listen to that long overdue music.
哦，我觉得好帅哦，上镜。
我觉得有点像林志炫啊。加油！
That's beautiful. It sounds really beautiful, his tone, like that's a really good start. I love it. Coming from a perspective of French being my native language, actually, for those of you who didn't know, yeah, I'm from Quebec actually, and my native language is French. Technically, like he pronounces everything pretty well. There's just that one detail, the word vie is not, you're not supposed to pronounce the S at the end, so it actually means to live. So you know that he's not native, but for the rest it's actually pretty clear. I think that his pronunciation, even though it's not his native language, is pretty good there, and it sounds really gorgeous.
Voici le SOS d'un terrien en détresse.
Yeah, it sounds good.
J'ai mûri, fier sur terre. Je m'enfanterai vos âmes, seulement dans ma part. Je voudrais voler montagne avant.
That's something that I really like there, is how he switches between the tone. He sort of goes into that counter tenor register right there, where it sounds a little bit more like the typical sound of what a mezzo-soprano would sound like. So when he goes into those high notes, it sounds very operatic, but I like that he uses more of like a chest voice, not quite like maybe mixed chest voice in the lower notes, and kind of transitions towards that instead of staying in that lower kind of resonance. And personally, it's a kind of aesthetic that I really like. I really like when the high notes are more in that sort of head voice. For you guys who know me already, you know that I'm really liking opera in general. I'm a classically trained singer myself, and that's the perspective that I come from, so I really like it. But I also really like that he's not necessarily starting with that tone, and he's having more of like a pop sort of tone, and that's kind of the aesthetic that I also like to do for myself as an artist, and that's kind of close to my own artistic decisions. And I really like that. I really like the kind of going from one to the other, sort of. I really like that, so yeah. Wow, yeah. And I like in those really high notes, he's like very, very delicate also. Like he doesn't go like full in. I really like how light it is and how easy it sounds in his voice. Yeah. Oh, okay, more power here. Okay.
Je toujours au fond d'une vie avec les ponts dessinés. Je crois aux zombies, tu es ta mort.
I feel like I just need to stop because of this one, but he pronounces avec les bandes dessinées. I really like, because to me it sort of sounds a bit like a very natural way to say it that sounds a bit more, I'm not gonna say native necessarily, but that sounds like more of a common way to say it, because one of the characteristics about French is I think that the spoken language and more of the like media language are very, very different. And to me, like saying instead of bande dessinée sounds like pronouncing basically the E in bande dessinée. A lot of the time you would hear that in songs, and in this case he just like cut the bande dessinée, and I kind of, to me it gives a feel of like more of a spoken sort of way. So anyways, I hope that I hope that's somewhat interesting for you guys to know about and kind of hear it from the perspective of a French speaker.
Je crois aux zombies, tu es à ma force. Je sens quelque chose qui m'attire, voler.
That's powerful. Like, I really like, in fact, the reason why this sounds so impressive, I think a lot of people would think, okay, like, it's so high, so it's impressive, but I don't think, like, something that is high is necessarily impressive. The reason why this sounds so impressive and, like, epic and grandiose at that moment is actually because he's prepared us since the beginning for that sort of climax. Like, he has a very good control of the nuances, so he's able to go very, very quietly and then really, really loud. And I think that the contrast here between singing very lightly and then putting a lot of power is what gives that really powerful effect right there. Like, let's rewind just a bit so we can hear what I'm talking about.
Je sens quelque chose qui m'attire, voler.
Yeah, you see?
Au retour de l'univers.
Like, another thing that is really, really, or sounds very impressive, I think, is when a singer is able to really master changes of register and creating that contrast. Like I said in the beginning, when you start with like the way that he starts with a very kind of more chesty sort of voice and then goes into very operatic, that sounds very contrasting, and I think it adds up to the level of like epicness, or it creates like a much bigger contrast. So if he goes like really low and he sings a very low part and then all of a sudden goes really high, I think that it really helps make the music very dramatic. So that's really high. That was really high. Like, this is impressive level of high for me. Like, it's yeah.
Pourquoi je vise, pourquoi je meurs, pourquoi je ris, pourquoi je pleure. J'y crois comme près des autres, qualité notre monde.
He's doing it differently here. He was switching like fully in that head voice in the beginning, and now like he's using more of a mixed voice, and I think that difference in kind of like helps build the tension, because I think that a mixed voice will sound more tense a little bit than, or yeah, kind of, yeah, will sound a bit more tense and a bit more yeah, tense would be the word, I guess, than head voice. Head voice sounds a little bit more light and a little bit more delicate, I guess. And like right now, like he's building up to that climax with the song and changing the way that he actually sings. This part kind of prepares us for another build-up, I would assume. Wow, yeah, I like that switch there. Nice. That's really beautiful. Okay, wow, that was really cool. I really enjoyed the song and the performance. I think that the weakest point in the singer would be that the pronunciation in French is not quite there. Like, I think that he still did a lot of effort, and there's some parts that I could really understand super well, but there's some parts that I just couldn't make the words at all. But I'm gonna give him that, and that's really, really positive thing for singers. I think that he really did do the research on what the words mean, because I felt like the performance was not just like putting emphasis on words that didn't make sense or phrases that didn't make sense. Like it felt like the performance really matched what the lyrics mean, and I didn't go into what they would actually mean, but I would probably suggest that you guys go and maybe find a translation for those lyrics, because they're really, really beautiful, and I think that in his performance he really rendered them number one. Like, that was really, really good. And what I really appreciated about what he did in this performance was that he really used a lot of different tone qualities in order to communicate the story, and he really knows how to build up climax and to really use the music to his advantage in order to really showcase what he's able to do, and I think that's really cool. Alright, so if you enjoyed that video, make sure to leave me a thumbs up so I know that I should keep making videos like this one. Also, make sure to subscribe and allow notifications for this channel so you get notified when I post new videos, which is every single week. Also, as you guys know, I am a recording artist myself, and I create music in the sort of symphonic metal and fantasy genre. So if that's a sort of music you'd be interested in, I actually made one of my original songs available for free, and I will leave it in the cards up there as well as in the description box down below. So I really hope to see you there, and I see you all in the next video. Bye!